Guys, Gemma here and back again for that mid-week video, and today I'm going to be talking about 6 retro games that I feel are absolutely quintessential to anybody's collection. But the catch is this, gamers, they're not necessarily games you would think of. So they're not like your AAA Super Mario Worlds, you know, your Streets of Rages, which are phenomenal games. Absolutely phenomenal, and believe you me, it was very difficult to narrow it down. I've picked specifically the games that really had an impact on me as a child, and from consoles that I grew up and I spent the bulk of my teens in. So that was the Super Nintendo, the Sega Mega Drive, and the PlayStation 1. So I really have a lot of emotional investment in them, and I've picked 2 games from each that I think tends to be overlooked, okay? But I just need to stitch in some footage and show you this, guys. I was in a charity shop the other day, right? I was on my lunch, so it was like a fleeting visit. And myself and Merlin went in, and there was this huge table of like PS2s, Wii's, Xbox 360s. So we were like, oh, this is something you don't see. So I'm going to show you that footage. And then there was an astronomically priced, and this hurts a little bit, an astronomically priced Sega Mega Drive with it was unboxed, but it had a boxed Sonic 1 and a boxed Sonic 2 and an unboxed Alex Kidd, and you won't believe the price. Now I know charity shops have to make money, but nobody's going to buy it at that price. If it was reasonably priced, people might want to buy it and then they can make money and help out charity. But I'm going to stitch in that footage now, so here it is. So 150 quid. I mean, oh god, I wish I could just like be a little advisor and be like, yo, that's not gonna sell. This is probably a little bit more realistic. I get that, you know, you need to make money. However, but there will be more charity shop game hunts coming, and if you're watching this video on launch, I'm doing a Red Dead 2 midnight opening, and I've got 2 versions of the game to unbox, so stay tuned. So let's start with my most treasured console of all time, the Super Nintendo. I'm going to grab my 2 games here, and I don't want you to see them, so I'm just going to pop them on top of my Pac-Man Lite. We'll start with the first game that was made, it was created, it was developed by DMA, which were the original developers of the Grand Theft Auto before Rockstar got hold of it. It is Uni Racers in North America, but it is Uni Rally here in PAL regions. I've picked this game because it's a game that is unlike no other. I think not just on the Super Nintendo, but within many different kind of consoles and many different eras. You literally play as a unicycle. Every unicycle has like their own name, every unicycle has their own colour. So like from the get-go, before you've even put the rubber of the tyre onto the track, there's some really kind of eccentric little bursts of flavour within this game, and I really like it. It's immensely difficult. Obviously it's a racing game. You race against AI, and you can also play against your friends. You have to do multiple tricks, which can be often very difficult to do, as timing is absolutely essential. And one of the things that I found very difficult about this game was that sometimes when you took off and you were performing the tricks in the air, you couldn't see how far down the track was, so you could still be performing a trick and then like bail because you'd completely miscalculated. So you had to play this lots of different times to really get an idea of what the tracks were like and how high you would typically jump, so you know exactly what tricks to do. It sounds like, I don't think I'm selling it very well, but believe you me, this is a game that you will have so much fun on, not just like as a single player against the like reasonable AI, but with mates as well. It's just so much fun. I cannot recommend this game enough, but remember it's Union Races in North America. I don't know why there was a name change, but absolutely love this game. And apparently there's not a massive amount of these in circulation because they were pulled because I believe they were sued by Disney because there was something along this kind of design of this red unicycle here. They were sued by Disney DMA, so like production was stopped after quite some time. So snag yourself a copy. Have you really? Next up then is a game that I feel again is overlooked within the retro gaming community. That game is Plok, which is here. All these games are boxed, by the way. Plok, I discovered this probably kind of 2014, 2015, so completely off my radar as I was growing up. Now, Plok for me is a little bit, if you've played Super Frog on the Amiga, there's kind of elements of that in the kind of nice colour palette, the platform style approach. Again, it's very quirky, very eccentric, and Plok uses different parts of his body and his clothes to kind of utilises his weapons against enemies in the levels. You can get different abilities, different power-ups, you know, so there's always that kind of element of surprise as you progress through the levels, and it's just so freaking awesome. And I was surprised when I discovered it that a lot of you guys didn't know that it was out there either, which was good because we can all share knowledge and get these games. We can keep retro gaming alive with videos like this. So Plok is a fantastic game. You start off, you've got like an overhead map. I forgot the main crux of the story, so do forgive me. So many games I'm writing reviews on and stuff, but it's just a ton of fun. I really like the music as well. So if you haven't played Plok on the Super Nintendo, get to it. Let's carry on with that 16-bit theme with the Sega Mega Drive, or rather Sega Genesis. I'm going to go with, again, these are titles that are often overlooked, okay? Obviously Streets of Rage, Ultra Beast, Moonwalker, if we were doing like the best of, then they would be in there. But I'm going to go now with Taz-Mania, guys. Taz-Mania, used to watch the cartoon as a kid, but Taz-Mania I used to play with my friend Paul, and we had an absolute ton of fun. I think this game has aged very, very well. It's a nice side-scrolling kind of platform adventure style game, and it's just got loads and loads of familiarity from the cartoon. So if you watched the cartoon, I think the appeal of this as a kid was that you could play the game and you could kind of relate it in your mind, because obviously as humans we like things that make sense, we like logic, we like association, and I could completely associate this to the cartoon. Really loved it. The sound effects were like, the sound effects still are to this very day. There's some crazy ass sound effects. It's not by no means like a fast-paced game like Plok. It's actually quite a slow game, but I think for me it was the familiarity that really tugged on my nostalgia heartstrings as a gamer. And if you've played any of these titles, by the way, make sure you slam your comment in the comment section below, and if you can add any kind of overlooked titles, please feel free to add to this. But you've got to play Taz-Mania. If you see it at Retro Game Market, definitely pick it up. Alright then, okay, this is even a surprise for me as I was kind of looking at this. I just had to include this game because I had so much fun on Jungle Strike. Jungle Strike for me, along with like Desert Strike, they're all very overlooked games. It takes the view of an isometric top-down, you know, on each of your levels, and you got to go on rescue missions, you got to like blow stuff up. It's just freaking fun, man. It's just so fun. And I think for me what the pull was that I really like isometric art. I don't know if that's why I felt so drawn to this as a child, but it's just the kind of like angle of like the, you know, looking down on the isometric level or world or whatever. But again, another game that's aged really well. I think a lot of these games have aged really well. Now Jungle Strike is my favourite. I did have a soft spot for Desert Strike as well, but this is just so much fun. Like, I just loved the little rescue missions, I loved blowing stuff up, and this is for me a game that if you can get, and you can get these games really cheap, you've got to pick it up. Okay, PlayStation 1. Now, again, if we were doing AAA, we'd have Crash Bandicoot, we'd have Final Fantasies, Resident Evil, Silent Hills, but let's not forget the overlooked titles. I'm going to show you 2 games, one of which is my favourite game on the PlayStation 1 ever. Every time somebody asks me, I always mention this title, and it is, at the bottom, it's Casper. Like, I have spoke about this in other games. This will blow your brains off. It says on the front, a haunting 3D challenge. So it's set in Whipstaff Manor. Your protagonist is Casper, and you do come across Cat and her dad throughout the game. It's a very, very long game actually. It took me quite a while to beat as a kid. It's aged really well. You take the view again of a kind of top-down, you know, level kind of design, and you as Casper have to navigate through Whipstaff Manor, collecting keys, solving puzzles, collecting different abilities so Casper can morph into different shapes to transfer from excuse me, like place to place. Oh, I was so hooked, like I was so hooked, and it's just, again, it's that familiarity of having watched and loved the Casper films as a little girl. Playing this, I'm like, oh yeah, look, it's Stinky, oh yeah, it's such and such, you know. And the manor, the manor looks great actually. The manor looks great. You can go outside into the maze, it's great when you meet cats. It's just so much fun, and nobody ever talks about it, and it like breaks my little heart. So you've got, I can't stress this enough, you could probably find this between £5 and £10. You have got to get Casper, and if you do, please let me know on social media. Go and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the links are in the description. Go and follow me, and please let me know if you've picked this up or if you've played it. So the final game is another game that I was completely hooked on as a child, and again, it is often overlooked, and that, guys, is ESPN Extreme Games. Now, what for me stood out about this is you actually had real video of an ESPN reporter in between each race. So you had that element of realism, which was really, really nice back then, because it was all about graphics back then. Let's face it, it's not so much now. It tends for me to be about story and depth of gameplay. But back then it was like, the SNES is better, no, the Mega Drive better, the SNES is better, you know, oh, look at the graphics on that PS1 game. So it really was about graphics. We didn't give a shit, well, I didn't give a shit about story back then. But this you can choose between like street luge, bike, blades and skateboard. So you've got to navigate through these like city levels, there's jungle, and there's like a ton of levels with various obstacles. You can collect cash, you can knock other people off. I think you race within about 15 people, so it's going to be quite challenging. It's 2-player, but if not, you can race against AI. This would have been a great game for online. This would have been such a good game for online. It did have a follow-up, ESPN 2. No, it didn't. It had 2 Extreme. They lost the license for ESPN, so it became 2 Extreme. Excuse me, guys. So it's a wicked game. If you like your races, you'll love it. It's very fast-paced. It's quite diverse. You can, like I say, pick different bikes with different traits to them. It's just so much fun, and I love it. You've got to play it. So let's put this back. It actually goes over here. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you guys can hit that sub button, hit that share button, hit that like button. I would really appreciate it, and stay tuned because we're going to have extra content coming this week with the release of Red Dead 2. I'll be streaming it at the weekend as well, and if you're watching this after the Red Dead release, then go and check out the unboxing stuff. I'll probably just Red Dead Redemption 2 The Ghost 24. Check out the midnight opening. I'm super excited. So I'm going to leave it there. Punch that sub button. My name is Gemma. Have a beautiful day. Take care. See you soon.